5th ed, D&D has a new starter set. And these starter sets were great. Like the original one was the red box, and it was for levels 1 to 4. And it was good, fun gaming. D&D has always been good, fun gaming. It's been on a long journey from the 1970s till today. It's gone through many editions, both before with the 5 D&D sets, then Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. And a lot of that was to do with, there was a lot of court cases and stuff going on between the co-founders, which is a great pity. This is such a creative creation that to have it so mired in that sort of stuff was such a disappointment. But that's all been sorted out when Wizards of the Coast took over the license. That was all finally put to rest, and they've done a pretty good job. I was quite happy to see D&D 3rd edition, which is the first one they did, come out. It was good to see the game became more in the mainstream again, and it was great to see it in regular bookstore shelves again, like it used to be. So 4th ed was very rules heavy. I didn't like it, and I didn't touch D&D during that period. But 5th ed has been a very welcome surprise, and I've really enjoyed playing it. I play it at a shop with my daughter, and we've been having a lot of fun. The guys there have been great, and it's just good fun all over. It's just been good fun, and the way they've done the rules has been really good. I'm impressed. So we picked up the starter set so that my son could play, and my daughter is well into RPs now, so this was a good investment. So for $25, what do you get? Well, you get a nice thick box, and on a plus, it is sturdy, which I like. A lot of the FFG boxes very flimsy, very weak. There's no strength in it. This is a good box. The downside is, what do you get? Well, not enough that I like, but what is here is good. But there is a big filler in the box. It takes up about half, so it's only half this for content. But as I said, the content itself is actually good. You get several pre-gens. There's only 2 here. My daughter has pinched off with the cleric, and my son has pinched one of the fighters. It does not have all the character classes. They are trying to get you to still buy the player's guide, which makes sense, right? This is a starter set. It's not meant to be the whole game. And they held some stuff back, but I feel that they did give you enough that you aren't being gypped in any way. So they're easy to read. All the information is very accessible. And for a beginner, it explains everything. It's very good. The way they did this is excellent. So this side of it is very good. Is it as flashy as FFGs? No. FFGs is definitely a step up when it comes to their character sheets in the basic set. You also don't get any tokens like you do in FFG. And Pathfinder, actually, you get some in Pathfinder's beginner set as well. So that is a bit disappointing. It would have been good to have had some tokens, just easy basic ones. It doesn't have to be as many. You get a full sheet, even a half sheet of goblins and stuff like that, which is heavily featured in the adventure. That would have been cool. One thing I do love, the dice. These dice are pretty. A lot of the time in beginner sets, you would get the most standard, basic, boring dice that there was. They're functional, but they were never pretty. These have nice patterns, and they're a gorgeous blue. They're actually a really nice set of dice. So that's cool. And it's doubly cool because my daughter has a set of her own fancy blue dice. I have 2 sets. I have a purple and I have a blue swirl dice, which are mine. And I just know if my son had got boring plain dice, he would have been asking for his own set. But he loves these dice. Neither of us minded him having these. And they really are very pretty. So for a basic set, the dice is 2 thumbs up. You get a rule book. pretty art, and it covers all the necessary basic things you need to know. And that's the thing that has to be really hammered in. This is a basic starter set. So a lot of time I've seen people say, well, this isn't in there, and this isn't in there, and this should be in there. Well, yes and no. Do you need it for the full game? Absolutely. Do you need some of that stuff to learn how to play? No, you don't. This set is designed to take you to 3rd or 4th level, and then you're going to move on. If you're going to play it heavily, you won't be doing yourself a disservice by buying the player's guide. This is there to let you test the waters to see if you like D&D, if you enjoy the hobby, that you won't have to spend a fortune on it. And even if you go on to buy the player's guide, I don't think that this has been a waste of money. You get an adventure, well actually 4, you get 1 adventure book, but there's 4 adventures in it. You get a basic set of rules which you can still use at the table. You'll still need the player's guide at that point, but this has all the basic stuff. And you have dice. So I don't think that this is going to be a waste of money. But the basic rulebook covers how to play, getting started, talks about your abilities, combat, adventuring, and spellcasting. So for basic rules, it's going to be in this book. And it's not a massively thick book. It's 32 pages. But it's got some spells, it's got some conditions at the back, which is things like prone, poison, petrified, paralyzed. The artwork is gorgeous. The font is easy to read, it's broken up, easily visible into different sections, stuff that's a helpful hint for the GM. The tables, strength checks, dex checks, intelligence checks, con checks, wisdom checks. It explains them all. Nice party sort of pick for the combat section. Different rules during combat. Damage and healing, how hit points and damage rolls, critical hits, vulnerabilities, healing, dropping to 0 hit points. It's all in here. Long jumps, focus on movement, special form of movements, resting, short and long rest. How to do rewards, equipment, armor and shields, cost and gear on the table, so if you want to buy stuff, and then into your spellcasting. That's a solid, good book. The adventure, though, this is where it shines. The FFG one is quite thin. The D&D one is pretty thick. 4 full adventures. Goblin Arrows, Phandalin, the Spider's Web, and Wave Echo Cave are all included. This is an excellent place to start. It starts with a very small little dungeon. Beautiful goblin art. And it just gets bigger. Things happen. Different places to go. And the last adventure is a 1 level, and we're not even there yet. A full-size dungeon. You could probably get 6 hours play out of this for your $25. And considering you get the dice, some pre-gens, basic set of rules, that's money well spent. If you're thinking of getting into D&D, and if you have kids that you're thinking of getting them into D&D, totally recommended. It's worth the money. Good stuff.